Hey there YouTube, it's me Tifo Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this month's end of month bot haul where I show you all the items I've picked up throughout the month of June 2024. Now I've got a rather modest haul to get through this month. I've got, which represents 7 purchases that I made, and so let's get into it, shall we? Right, starting off, the first thing to arrive on the 7th was the first of my Korean purchases this year, because obviously I like to collect these Korean toys and review them. And I've done an unboxing and a review on it. This guy, Metal Cardbot Black Hook. He's one of the pirate crew of bad guys that come in towards the end of the season, the series, the cartoon series. He's the leader. And he has the 2 underlings under him. He's got Buster Gallon and Buffalo Crush. He's a very typical, sort of captain. He's got this beautiful sort of royal blue design with all these ornate sort of trimmings on, lots a lot of gold trimmings and stuff. He looks cool. He's one of the biggest, or one of the bigger Metal Cardbot toys, because they're quite a lot smaller than other Korean toys that I'm used to getting. This guy more or less measures up to leader class scale. Well, old leader class scale, not new leader class. But he's a good figure, decently posable. He's not the most articulated thing, as the majority of Korean toys are, but he's got bicep swivels and thigh swivels. Transforms into a pirate ship, which is a very unusual alt mode, and he's got his card weapon, which turns into this cannon, which sort of clips onto his shoulder, and he's got this aiming reticule that comes over his eye, and it goes over the eye, which he's got his eye patch on. But in the show, his eye patch is like lifts up so that he can look through the aiming reticule, and then he does his attack. Captain Jack Cannon. It launches a massive, sort of like energy cannonball, which explodes with massive force. So this guy is the 11th character in the toy line. There's 12 characters in the toy line. Well, individual characters in the toy line. There is a 13th, which is a rehash of the first character. But yeah, he's a decent figure and really good. And obviously, as I'm getting all the figures from the Metal Cardbot toy line, I have to get him. There's only one more to go, and that's the big bad guy from the whole season, Mr. Heavy Iron. He's kind of like a Korean equivalent of Power Master Prime. He has like a truck cabin which combines together to form this giant robot. He's big, he's strong, he's heavy, he's powerful, and he's completely he's a big old badass character, bad guy at the end of the show. But I'm been saving him for last, because he's the last character, because he's like the big boss at the end of the show. So there we go. So I managed to get hold of this guy, another Metal Cardbot figure. One of the better ones in the line, but yeah, Metal Cardbot Black Hook, and he arrived on the 7th. And then I had to wait a little bit. It took nearly a week before my next Korean package arrived, because like I said, with G-Market, I've been having a bit of trouble getting packages out of them. This second package, the seller waited a couple of days before they shipped it. They didn't ship it, within the first calendar week, and I was getting a bit concerned about it. But then it finally shipped, and it arrived. Again, I've done an unboxing video on it and a review, and here it is. Yes, Tobot 2024, or Tobot Dado Heroes, the new Tobot series, but it's season 2. Twin Punch. Now this guy is made up out of 2 individual characters. You've got the blue one, who's called Hook, and the red one, who's called Jab. Now these guys are themed around like a boxing champion. I mean, they've got these boxing gloves that go on his hands. Very unusual transformation. It's I mean, if I take the colloid off, it splits down the middle. So you've got one of the alt modes is this thing, and one of the alt modes is the other. And they transform into a Hyundai Casper, which I said in the review was a new car that wasn't probably coming out this week. But I don't know about that. But I think it's a model that's already out. And I think it's probably been superseded. But still, you put Hyundai Casper into a search engine, it doesn't hardly comes up with any pictures. That's why it made me think that it was a new model that hadn't come out yet. But anyway, so unusual transformation. It's you know, it clips down the middle. Again, the transformation is asymmetrical, because it's the same transformation for each figure, but it's like mirror image transformation. So they transform the same way, but the mirror opposite way round of the other, which is quite interesting. And you've got two Koroid dudes. You've got one here, and the other one is inside this little cubby hole at the back. And in the show, they can switch out when they're doing their thing. In the review, I had the red one in the seat, but this time for this video, I've got the blue one in the seat. Decently posable. Obviously, there's certain articulation joints, like there's no waist joint on it because, you know, because of the way the engineering works. It hasn't got any bicep swivels, which is disappointing. Yeah, it's a little bit of a letdown in some ways, considering it's supposed to be, you know, like a boxer that's supposed to be like an agile bot. But it's all right. It's good. I mean, the engineering alone on this thing makes it worth getting, because it's very challenging to transform. It's probably one of the most complex Korean toys I've ever handled, because it's got like this duplicate, you know, transformation style, and there's so many twists and turns, you know, getting it from, you know, half a robot into the car mode and back again. It's quite challenging, but it's a good figure, and it looks cool. Also, I've put some paint apps on here, because when you got it, these weren't painted up, and in the show, these lights are painted up in the show, and also when they're in robot mode, they can flash a beam out of these, which is like an EMP pulse, which can then disrupt and you know, electrical devices. So that's pretty cool. So I just put some little bits of silver paint apps on there just to show them lights there. But there we go. Very good toy. Very heavy, big and bulky as well. Unusual transformation, but a pretty cool and complex transformation nevertheless. Really good figure, nice and solid. Just let down with a lack of articulation joints, but that's just par for the course for Korean figures. But yeah, that arrived on the 13th. Then on the same day, now this month I did a bit of quite a bit of business with Aliexpress and TF Direct. I bought 3 packages from Aliexpress and 2 packages from TF Direct. Now, mostly, well, they're pretty much all Legends stuff, you know, third-party Legends. And the Aliexpress stuff is all arrived in time, but the TF Direct stuff, I ordered 2 items from TF Direct, and only one of them actually turned up before the end of the month. The other one is still in transit, and I'm a bit disappointed, because I've not been having that much luck with TF Direct since I started, you know, dealing with them. And yeah, I just picked. They give you 2 free shipping options, and I obviously picked the wrong one. And it was like a super ass budget, you know, international air flight they've put it on, and it's you know, doing a hopscotch across the world to get to me, and the tracking code isn't updating that well, and oh, it's a bit of a rat's ass. But anyway, needless to say, my first Aliexpress package arrived on the 13th, the same day as Twin Punch. And it's a figure that I did mention in previous videos, because I got the official version of the figure at NEC Toy Fair a while back. But then I knew there was this third-party sort of like Legend scale version that was coming out from Doctor Wu. And I like my Doctor Wu stuff. I've got quite a few Doctor Wu figures, and the stuff they do is absolutely amazing. So I wanted to get this thing, and I finally pulled the trigger on it this month. Doctor Wu, movie collector, MC03 Little Monster, and it's Wheelie from Revenge of the Fallen. Decent little figure, very small, transforms into like a little radio-controlled, you know, monster truck. It's a better mould than the original Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe. Very neat. It's very cool and interesting engineering. However, this figure does have a few minor faults, minor issues that let it down. One is the wheel shoulders. They have this thing where they when they're in wheel form, it all locks everything together and it allows the wheel to turn. But when you go to robot mode, it forms the shoulder mass for the robot arm. You have to like pull it all out, but it's not just 2 pieces pulling apart. It's like 2 or 3 pieces you have to pull out separately to unlock the joint, and it's an absolute pain. It's super stiff and fiddly. So yeah, the shoulders aren't very good, and then you got the feet. Now I've got it with these things acting as heel spurs, but in the official transformation, they're supposed to be up like that, and the foot is supposed to be this little prong and the wheel, and if you do that, this thing won't. It struggles to stand up because even the Revenge of the Fallen one had 2 prongs to act as feet. This one's only got 1 prong to act as a foot. And when you've got a wheel as a foot, it just rolls around all over the place, and it's a real letdown that it's got that engineering on the feet. I wish they'd have done a little bit more to make the. I mean, you can't lock the wheels in place to stop them from turning. They just spin consistently, and it's a shame really. But there you go. So yeah, it's let down by two little things. It's fiddly to transform because it's so small, and then like I said, the shoulder transformation is a bunch of arse, and then you've got like the stupid prong feet, which means it won't stand up properly. So it's a shame really, because I mean I like Doctor Wu stuff, and this is a decent figure, as is. It's got an awesome little alt mode. The robot mode looks decent. It's got some pretty good engineering on it. Otherwise, it's just let down by those 2 little things, and it's a shame really, because it's not a mark against Doctor Wu or Mechanic Studios who engineered the thing, but it just annoys me that it's got some those little things on it that just make it less than what I was expecting. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. So next, 19th. Again, the second parcel from Aliexpress that I ordered this month. And it's something that I've been after for a while. I've been thinking about getting for a long... It's been on my back burner for a long time. Because, when it came out, I wanted to get it, but I never actually got round to buying it because it was kind of pricey. And this is due to the company that make them. They're kind of upping their game a bit. They're making really good quality stuff, but I think they're pushing their prices up a bit because they know they're producing good stuff that collectors want, so they're pushing the boat out a bit. And so what I ordered, I managed to get it for a decent price off AliExpress, and I was looking around at prices at other places, and I saw one on eBay for like 85 quid. Well, it was a UK seller doing it for 85 quid plus postage. And I was tempted to buy that because it was in the UK, but then I thought, well, that's a bit too expensive. Can I get it cheaper anywhere else? And I looked around, and AliExpress was the cheapest option, but I wasn't sure whether the seller would ship it with the box, but they did. And it finally arrived on the 19th. Newage NAH28 Octavian, or their Ultra Magnus. So yeah, been wanting to get this for a while. I like Ultra Magnus because there's a bunch of them there. There's some more down there, and he's one of my favourite characters. And Newage out of the, I mean, I've got a couple of Legends Ultra Magnuses already. I've got the Papa Toys one. I've got the original Magic Square Transporter. But I wanted to get another one as well. And out of the other two, other couple that are available, this is probably the best one of the bunch. Really good figure, really, really, really good. When you transform it from its white prime, which is it's called Conquest, it's NAH27 Conquest, but then you put the armour onto it to make Ultra Magnus. The armour all clips on nicely, a lot of parts forming, but then again, all like white prime Ultra Magnuses have got parts forming going on. But this one, it works really well. You end up with this nice, heavy, solid bot. He looks really cool. He's got like the chunky proportions that I like. He's got the big blue, sort of like sunglasses, shade optics going on. Really, really cool figure. The white prime, the Optimus Prime mold or Conquest, that's a different story. I mean, transforming that from its truck mode to robot mode is really, really fiddly because it's got a lot of very small, sort of hinged parts with limited clearance that have to move past one another to get the chest transformed into to get the cab transformed into the chest, and it's very, very fiddly, but it all works out really well. And then when you add the armor to it, well, you just get this guy, and he's really, really good. He's, like I said, he's super, super solid, really poseable, looks great. And I really, really wanted to get this, and he hasn't disappointed me really. like I said, the white prime's a bit fiddly, but apart from that, everything else is awesome on this. And like I said, Newage have been up in their game quite a lot. They've been pushing their prices up, and when this thing came out, it was like about was it about 65, 70 quid initially, and then they started the price started going up, and I've like I said, I've seen people asking like 80, 90 quid for it, and it's like I don't want to pay that. I mean, I've got a bit of a stigma when it comes to paying certain prices for certain figures. Like I don't like paying over 200 quid for like a masterpiece scale bot, and it's the same with a like a legend scale bot. I don't like paying over 100 quid for a legend scale bot. I mean, like they Newage have got their what is it, their Omega Supreme. What's he called? Anyway, they've got their is it Michael? They've got their Omega Supreme, and that thing that goes for horrendous amounts of money. It's like I'm not prepared to pay that. There is a knockoff version of that that's come out by some other company, and you can get it for less than half price of the original. So I might be tempted to go down that route to get it. But yeah, this guy, it's Newage. It's good quality. We know that because Newage are known for their quality. Really good bot in itself, and yeah, I like it a lot. And finally pulled the trigger on it. Right, so next now, I've got the last couple of things now, because like I said, it's not a massive haul this month. I mean, hopefully I'll get this done in under half an hour. Okay, so the next one, another Aliexpress package, arrived on the 21st. Now, going way back, there was a time when Unique Toys bought out what was called the Palm Collection series. They were like Legend Scale Headmasters. And they did like the full range. They did all the Autobots, all the Decepticons, and then they finished off with the Horrorcons, Ape Face and Triple Changes Ape Face and Snapdragon. I bought the whole line. I really got into that line. I bought the whole lot. They're very basic, simplistic bots, but they work really well for what they are. And But then a while later, another company decided to upscale and re-engineer those figures. And I am, of course, referring to Vecma Studios, which is an offshoot of Mech Fans Toys. And they took these Unique Toys molds and then they scaled them up. And then they applied a lot of, re-engineering to certain joints. And, they improved the aesthetics of them. And they made them better. But they also made them a lot bigger. And so I've bought a few of those because they're characters I like to character mold set collect, even though they're technically knockoffs. And to me, knockoffs don't count because knockoffs are a copy of an existing original mold, be it third party or official. And if I've got the original mold, there's no point in getting the knockoff. But in this case, they made so many differences to the molds that it was definitely worth getting them. So there's a couple of characters that I like to character mold set collect in sort of the Headmaster series. Obviously, Weird Wolf and Skullcruncher are the main ones. Then we've got sort of a mold set collecting Chrome Dome and Brainstorm. Now Brainstorm, I decided I wanted to collect Brainstorm, and I've got most of the molds. And then obviously, I got the Unique Toys one. And this thing, I mean, look at it. Look how blocky and boxy it is. It looks like it's made out of Lego. It's supposed to be as like a sleek sort of like space jet, and it doesn't look that great. Also, it's done in the Takara Headmasters colours, not the Western sort of Generations colours, which is a bit disappointing. So in robot mode, and also the robot hasn't got the face plate. It's got like a full face. And it's kind of disappointing. So this, out of all the Unique Toys, Palm Collection series, was one of the ones is one of the less impressive releases that they did. And I wasn't a huge fan of the way this looked. And then obviously the Vecma Studio ones got announced, and I looked at it and I thought, you haven't done enough with that mold to make it look any better, in my opinion. And I sort of passed on it. But then this month, I sort of changed my opinion on it slightly. I looked at it again and thought, actually, it doesn't look too bad, so I'll go for it. So it finally arrived on the 21st. And there we go. Vecma Studios versus VS07 Kongming. So yeah, here he is, and yeah, he's better. Slightly better colours than the original. It's got a bit more of the white going on. Not so much black on the chest. It's still got the Takara Headmaster's colours, but it's a little bit dumbed down. The ship mode on this does look more like Brainstorm's, super sleek, space fighter that it's supposed to be, and less of a, sort of like an ugly, boxy sort of carbuncle, made out of Lego. It's not too bad. It's all right, and the engineering improvements they've made to this mold are really good. They've got rid of a lot of the ball joints and replaced them with, sort of universal joints, especially on the arms. It's got bicep swivels and elbows and stuff, and it's nice and solid. It's got decent colours, transforms really well, decently articulated. It's a great little figure. Again, these Vecma Studios, third party, like KO oversized upscales of the Palm Collection figures are actually really, really good. And this is another one I wanted to get. Again, it kind of counts towards my character mold set collecting, but because it's a KO of this thing, then it doesn't really count. But I wanted to get it anyway, and I decided this month I'll take the plunge and I'll get it, because I saw it on Aliexpress, and this figure's getting hard to find now. It's like its production run has run its course, and it's going out of stock, and I decided to get in there while there was still some available. So yeah, arriving on the 21st, Vecma Studios versus VS 07 Kongming. Right, so there's only a couple more bots to show you now, and the first of my TF Direct purchases that I placed this month. The second TF Direct package, which I ordered, which is DX9's Michael Murphy, DX9 Mini 02 Michael Murphy. They're like little legend scale chrome dome. It's on its way. I picked the wrong shipping option from TF Direct, and it's going like super snail mail across the country, and I don't think it's even left China yet. So yeah, it will arrive probably next week, all going well. But next week is next month, so you'll see it in next month's haul. But the other package, again, this package, I ordered it off. I was looking around at the prices in the various places you could buy this thing. Again, I looked on TF Direct. I looked on Show Z. I looked on Show Z, and I looked on Aliexpress. And I compared the prices and the stock situation, and I decided, like the best option to go for, the cheapest option was TF Direct. So I ordered them, placed my order, was given the shipping options. You had option 1 and option 2. Option 1 was packet post. I can't remember what option 2 was. I went with option 1. Big mistake, should have gone with option 2, but never mind. So this thing took nearly 3 weeks to arrive from China, and it was like, and the tracking code kept saying, oh, planes taken off, planes landed, planes taken off, planes landed. And it didn't say where it was. It was like really vague, tracking information on it. And I was getting really annoyed. But it finally arrived on the 26th. And I've been after this set because character mold set collecting. Newage, again. NAH 28 Balin and 29 Dwalin. So yeah, Huffer. Talk about character mold set collecting. Huffer is my main squeeze. He's the character that started off character mold set collecting. I wanted to get all the Huffers. This is the latest one. Very neat little figure. It's got, it's quite compact and complex for its size. It's nice and solid. Transforms really good. Looks great, decently posable. It cleans up really nice. Like all the wheels tuck away. Like the front wheels are inside the cab, and then the others are inside the leg. It's very clean. Obviously, it's cartoon accurate, but I don't give a shit about that because I'm not really a fan of the cartoon. I'm more of a comic guy. But there we go. Decent enough figure. It's really, really cool. Wanted to get him because Huffer. And so I got him, and he's really, really awesome. Now, they come in a 2-pack. If you could have bought them separately, then I would have bought Balin or Balin individually, but because they're small figures, they tend, Newage tend to do them in 2-packs. So yeah, so then you get Dwalin, or Dwalin, Dwalin, it's or Dwalin. Now this guy, the engineering on him isn't quite as good as it is on the Huffer mould. I mean, it's pipes, obviously. I'm not too impressed with the engineering on this. It isn't as well engineered as the other thing. And also the fact that he's got the cab, and this is just pipes, his design, he has the cab just hanging off the back. It makes him very back heavy, and he's difficult to get him to stand upright without him falling over. It's mostly the same transformation. I mean, the legs work pretty much the same. The differences are in the cab, the torso, and the arms. They work slightly differently. It's still clever the way it's engineered, but it just doesn't work as well as the other figure. And I was not quite as impressed with this figure as I was with the other ones. So yeah, so got him in the 2-pack with the other guy. So I got them together. Got them from TF Direct. They took an absolute dog's age to ship from China. Yeah, so there we go. I finally got them. Right, so that's all the plastic out of the way. There's just one more thing to finish this haul off, and it is a comic. Now, I know last month I sort of finished off with the comics. I got up to, finish off the 200 series, and then I got freebie, issue 300 and 301. Now, I decided I wasn't going to chase the 300 issues. There's only 33 of them. It's issue 300 to 332. And issue 332, because it's the last, Marvel G1 comic, goes for horrendous amounts of money. There's somebody who's got a graded one on eBay at the moment for about 295 quid, and it's like, no, I'm not going to buy that. But if I do see the 300 series bots out in the wild at a halfway sensible price, and when I mean halfway sensible price, I mean like sort of 15 to 20 quid each with postage, then I might go for them. And this month, towards the end of the month, a couple of individual comics came up on eBay at a sensible price, and I looked at them and I put them on my watch list. And then the next day I get contacted by the seller, and he gave me an offer. He dropped the price by £1 on each of them, but I only had £14 left or something, and it just over 14 quid left in my budget, and it wasn't enough money because they were still overpriced. So I declined the offer and said, sorry mate, I'm all right. And but he came back to me again with another offer on one of the comics, where he dropped it down to below 12. Below 14 quid. It's like £13.95 or something. And I looked at my remaining budget. Says, yeah, okay, I can do it. So I placed the order and I got it, and it arrived on the 27th. Issue 311. So yeah, I managed to pick this up. So got it for, like I said, just under 14 quid, which isn't too bad, I suppose. I'm going to keep my eyes out for the others, but I'm not going to make a habit of religiously searching for the things. I'm just going to pick them up as and when they come up at a sensible price. But the 300 series are generally really expensive, like way more expensive than they deserve to be, in my opinion. But there we go. So I got that, and that's the last item I got this month. So yes, so there's my haul. I managed to get it done under half an hour. So let's wrap this thing up, shall we? So that thing I do at the end of every month, the first and worst, where I show you the best and the worst thing, or in my opinion, the thing I liked the most and the thing I liked the least. And this month it was fairly clear cut for me which was the first and worst. So here we go. First and worst. Now, the first, Newage Octavian. Again, he's a really awesome figure. Goes without saying, really, because Newage stuff is really good for third-party legends. He's awesome. I love him so much. Bit fiddly to transform the White Prime, but apart from that, it's a really cool, really decent figure, and it captures the look of Ultra Magnus so well, and it looks like the character that I expect it to be. So there we go. Got him. And the worst thing, again, I'm not having a go at Dr. Wu or Mechanic Studios, who designed and produced this thing. This thing is a half decent figure in itself, but it's just let down by the shoulder joints and the feet. Because the feet, them stupid prongs, it won't stand up properly, and the shoulders, they got that stupid telescopic, slidey thing that's super stiff and really difficult to pull apart in order to unlock the shoulder joints. Those two engineering things, if a little bit of extra care and attention would have fixed those faults, but it is what it is. It's a little third party. It's not even a legend scale thing. It's really tiny, but yeah, it was a bit of a letdown because of that. It makes this thing difficult to pose and difficult to transform, those two factors, and in that case, it made it my least favourite thing that I got this month. I don't hate this thing. It's not the worst in that respect. It's the worst because out of everything else I got this month, I like them better or more than this thing. So that's why it gets the worst accolade this month. So that's it. That's my haul for this month. Like I said, it's only a modest haul. Not much going on. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Do it all again next month. So yeah, moving into July, I've still got that thing rolling over, the PayPal paying free of that what was it, that MBK King of Sniper that I bought at Primetime Toys at the TF UK Con last month, and I bought it on a PayPal paying free, and that meant it split the cost up into 3 equal payments of like 40 quid. And of course this month I had another one of those payments, and that meant it reduced my budget, and that's why I wasn't able to buy quite as much stuff as I wanted to. I would have had a better haul this month were it not for that fact. Also, there was a pre-order, Hasbro Pulse pre-order that I placed towards the end of the month as well. What was it? The Hasbro Pulse exclusive comic edition Emirate Zaron and Flame 2-pack came out, and I had to buy that because I'm a G1 comic dude, and Emirate Zaron and Flame in plastic form, are you kidding me? I had to get them, so I pre-ordered that as well, and that accounted for like nearly 60 quid of my budget. So the £40 PayPal paying free payment and that not nearly 60 quid, that almost ate up a quarter of my budget this month, and that's part of the reason why this haul is so small and modest by comparison to the usual ones I get. But anyway, without that said, I've been TFR Wellness. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.